Does the US government have a plan to use XRP to pay off all of its debt? Does the US have a plan to use Ripple and XRP to replace SWIFT? Some say it's already happened. I have a new clip here circulating it on X that speaks just to that exact thing. I want to play it and see if I can verify anything that he's saying here and go through some new information. We do have a new Federal Reserve chair and he is crypto friendly. What is that going to mean for Ripple and XRP? I do want to get into this. I have a ton of other XRP and Ripple data points in this video. Got some new partnerships and collabs. Let's just start here though with the most interesting post.
So what's Kevin Schwartz going to do?
Well, I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but I do believe, firstly, let's just look at the basics about the Federal Reserve. So that is basically a massive con, right? Federal, there's nothing federal about it. It's a private organization. Kennedy, JFK, wasn't the first one, but he tried to get rid of it and bring out his own silverback dollars, which obviously didn't go down very well because it's the fundamental control mechanism for the whole world, hence the petrodollar. When was the...
In 1971. Bretton Woods was after the Second World War.
No, Bretton Woods was 46, right? So you had all these stages of making the dollar into the default currency of the world. And what did they do with it? It's just debt based. It's not, every dollar in your pocket is an IOU.
Yeah.
And we need to get away from that. And I think that's what Trump is implementing. We're going to have, on the surface, he's a crypto friendly chairman. I think it's possible that, the ridiculous national debt of the United States, which I can't remember the exact figure, but I think it's 30 trillion, something ridiculous, that can get wiped out in a heartbeat. And I think it already has happened. I think we mentioned this on a previous show. In my opinion, XRP has replaced the SWIFT system 5 or 6 years ago, or at least running parallel. And I told you before, I noticed that because of the international payments that I was doing were happening super quick.
Right.
Whereas they used to take, because I had an international business and I noticed these things and how quick the money comes in and out. And I think it was at least tested if it's not running parallel, if it's not already replaced it.
Okay, there's two ideas here, right? And it kind of got merged into the same idea, but there's two different things. One was paying off US debt with maybe XRP is kind of what I was hearing there. Maybe he said it's already happened and they're still just showing national debt of 39 plus trillion. Also, we talked about XRP replacing SWIFT. So those are two very different things on very different sides of the entire planet, just like nothing to do with each other. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with SWIFT and vice versa. So I'm trying to understand this a little bit more clear. I personally have not heard anything about XRP Ripple being involved with paying off all of US debt. If we had some of that information and research, we would definitely go through and show you. Now we do have Kevin Warsh, who is going to be, or is the new Fed chair, and he's been pro crypto. He owns certain crypto assets. And Yuto from several months ago says, today there was a briefing for senior officials of the Bank of Japan. What I learned is that the successor to Chairman Powell is a person extremely close to Ripple and Circle. As a result, the credibility of blockchain adoption by non-US central banks will increase significantly. So hard to know if he was talking about Kevin Warsh at the time, because there was multiple people nominated and there was people brought in and out. I couldn't personally find connections between Kevin Warsh and Ripple. I did look. So there's no public evidence that the new federal chair has any formal or direct relationship with Ripple, or that the XRP has an official role in Federal Reserve policy under his leadership. Most connections being discussed right now are indirect, speculative, or via shared networks of investors and policy circles rather than documented partnership. Who the new chair is, recent reporting indicates Kevin Warsh has taken over the chair of the Federal Reserve, replacing Jerome Powell, with markets watching his stance on macro policy and digital assets closely. Warsh has been described as open to central banks engaging in digital currencies and has argued that the US should explore a central bank digital currency to stay competitive with efforts like China in the yuan. What's actually on record with XRP and Ripple? Crypto media and analyst pieces link Ripple and XRP to the broader US digital asset policy discussions via figures like Kevin Hassett, who have been involved in digital asset market policy and reference. I believe Yuto was talking about Kevin Hassett, because if you think back a few months ago, Kevin Hassett was the guy who Trump was going to tap before he moved to Warsh. So I think people are getting these connections wrong, and I think that this is the person that this post was about. That's my personal feeling. The links about Ripple and XRP are being part of the policy conversation around digital assets, ETFs, and potential sovereign wealth style strategies, but not any formal adoption or endorsement by the federal chair himself. I wanted to just show you what the connection connections are that we know of that we can prove without a shadow of a doubt. We did have the Faster Payments Task Force back in 2015. All of this work led to the FedNow payment system. It is not a blockchain payment system, it is a centralized payment system at the Fed. President Trump has said that he wants to replace that system with a newer blockchain-based system. The only way the US could build a payment system so quickly is to work with a private company such as Ripple or other private companies. I would imagine Ripple is part of that conversation. Ripple Labs was selected to the task force steering committee with Ryan Zagone representing the technology and non-bank service provider sector, sitting alongside banks and other payment players. Remember, this is during the first Trump administration. The task force received 22 proposals for faster payments, 16 completed the process, and Ripple's Interledger cross-border solution was one of them, positioned as a way to improve messaging, tracking, and speed for real-time cross-border payment solutions. How the Fed described Ripple's technology? In the Fed's Faster Payments Task Force final report in 2017, Ripple's solution was signaled out for enabling financial institutions to operate cross-border payments faster than the typical 2 to 4 day cycle, emphasized an improved speed and transparency. The report framed Ripple's proposal as addressing cross-border friction, including better tracking and certainty around settlement rather than the core domestic US instant payments rail itself. The scope and limits of the relationship, the FPTF was essentially a conservative and exploratory body. It concluded its work in 2017, and Ripple's involvement there does not equate to the Fed officially adopting RippleNet or XRP into the Fed infrastructure. So, like I said, we don't have anything specifically now linking the Fed to using XRP to pay off the debt or doing anything of the sort. This task force connection is often used in XRP narratives, but it's important to stress being on the steering committee and having a proposal positively evaluated is not the same thing as being selected by the US standard or being embedded into FedNow and FedWire. Being embedded into FedNow and FedWire, that's what Ripple is trying to do with their OCC bank charter. This is what Elizabeth Warren is trying to stop with everything that she has, kind of going after and re-engaging and attacking Ripple. There was a lot of drama between, the Gensler era when Ripple was going through the lawsuit and things were said, and there's a lot of bad blood there in my personal opinion. FedNow and Ripple XRP, the FedNow service is a domestic instant payment infrastructure operated by the Federal Reserve, offering 24/7, 365 real-time settlement for US dollar transactions between participating institutions. Recent FedNow documentation and upgrades have focused on expanding access, allowing banks to use intermediaries for the international leg of a transaction, while FedNow handles the US domestic leg, which conceptually overlaps with cross-border space Ripple targets. However, public FedNow materials and mainstream coverage describe it as central bank operated real-time rail, not a Ripple or XRP powered system. Any suggestion that FedNow runs on XRP is speculative and comes from crypto commentary rather than official Fed sources. So what you have here is you have connections like Finastra and Accenture and stuff like that. They are connected inside the FedNow system, and Ripple is on the outside connected into Accenture and to Finastra and these other banks and partners and infrastructures. And so that's how you could get XRP on these FedNow rails, but nothing direct. If in fact Ripple does get an OCC charter, then they could directly plug into FedNow, but it would still be a centralized payment system at the Fed and not a blockchain powered system like what Ripple has with the XRP Ledger. And of course, indirect links via banks and providers. Industry commentary has noted some FedNow certified service providers and banks have been reported to have connections to Ripple either through RippleNet pilots or partnerships for cross-border payments. So a lot of speculation in this with no actual facts or proof to back it up, but everybody seems to be talking about it. I just wanted to highlight it on this video. I also wanted to just bring up the Ripple buying Circle. There's been, I don't know why this has started again. To buy Circle before it IPO'd, you're looking probably $6 to $7 billion if you can get that deal done. Now you're looking in 20 to 25 billion. Probably it could be even a little bit more, just under $30 billion to buy Circle. And I just don't think there's any way, shape, or possible Ripple makes that purchase. Think about it. They would have to sell an enormous amount of XRP, which they have. I mean, most of that XRP is locked up in escrow, right? 32 billion is locked up in escrow. Ripple has about 5 billion for on-demand liquidity. To raise $25 billion, that would require Ripple getting rid of 18 billion XRP. They just don't have it. And so how else could they do it? They could do it through private shares of Ripple company, but then they would be giving a majority of stake and ownership of those shares to Circle, which doesn't make sense. So anyone who's telling you Ripple is going to buy Circle, just, the facts don't add up to what they're saying. And if you just follow the money and understand how much it would take, that Ripple doesn't really have that money underhand. Now, and think about this too. Circle is key infrastructure for stablecoins, a lot of partnerships, a lot of connections, but for $25 billion, Ripple could buy 20 more G treasuries or 25 more hidden roads or something like that, right? They could buy all more important key infrastructure that would allow them to do so much more than what Circle is operating and doing at this point. So I don't think Ripple buys Circle, but you guys let me know what you think. Also too, Yellow has the power to bring internet value to agentic payments and processes, and there is a serious demand for institutions for these rails. It doesn't just come from tech companies. Let me play this.
Our system, Yellow SDK, can connect to all the SDKs, but really we have seen the demand from institutions to use this agentic economy. These are numbers by Gardner and McKinsey. This is like reputable numbers. It's a really huge economy. We've been building this for about 6 years. It's over 500 man-years of engineering. We come from different engineering backgrounds. Our liquidity hub, Yellow.pro, was the CTO of Bybit joined. We had the CTO of Cosmos also joined to build the SDK. So really we have like an amazing industry. So really we have like a really good team, and like we have like an amazing traction. We just launched only 1 month ago like our public thing, and we already have like 500 projects developing on the SDK. We have over 50 published projects. It's been pretty amazing, and we really think it's the future. It's going to be a solution such as Yellow that is going to be bringing the internet of value to these agentic payments, because they will need payment rails. Today you can ask your ChatGPT, find me all these tickets, but what we're solving is buy it, okay? So it will find you the best route, but it can still not pay for things. So that's what Yellow is bringing. We think it's going to be huge.
All right, a lot of stuff going on with Yellow. I know a lot of people have been talking about Yellow recently. AI agent economy will purchase on your behalf. B2B agent commerce expected to be 15 trillion across the XRP ledger. That could be an enormous amount of volume over the next few years, and Yellow is trying to make that happen. We also had some pretty insane news today with Stellar and the DTCC. The DTCC announced that it is going to be partnering with the Stellar Foundation and moving assets onto the Stellar blockchain. So congratulations to XLM holders. DTCC XRP, DTCC Canton, DTCC Stellar, DTCC Chainlink, multi-ledger, multi-chain. Let's look at this collective effort not as a divided one. This is a major capital unlock and will benefit the entire industry. July to October, get the champagne ready. Ripple is positioned to take over the FX market with XRP 7.5 trillion per day. That's the daily turnover of the FX market according to the BIS. This is a 2.7 quadrillion per year market. Ripple's key advantage, 90% coverage of global foreign exchange markets already. And in order to use XRP to provide their own liquidity for FX transactions, banks will have to hold XRP on their balance sheets. Listen, if Ripple is able to solve 5%, 10%, 25% of the FX market, and you're seeing trillions of dollars flowing across the XRP ledger per day, the price cannot be dirt cheap. That's just plain and simple. And this is really where the most amount of friction can be reduced and fixed using XRP as that liquidity layer. And yes, banks would need to acquire and hold XRP if they are going to be using XRP in this, foreign exchange market. And this could really help reduce circulating supply and really take us to a whole new generation of what a utility token would look like. Solving a quadrillion-dollar problem is a big deal, for any cryptocurrency. And XRP does have the technology. Now we just need the scale. Also, I wanted to show you this. This is Meg Nakamura talking about XRP.
XRP was a purpose-built blockchain for financial services and financial payments related use cases. And so in terms of adoption, we saw a lot of cross-border type of use cases early on, but now XRP has evolved and there's more utility with the blockchain. So it includes lending, which is built into the protocol. And we're also here to accelerate this movement from traditional finance to everything DeFi. So maybe vaults are a concept that you've heard about, but these opportunities are where we're seeing increased adoption and accelerated momentum.
All right, got a few other things I'd like to show you here. SoFi just became the first U.S. nationally chartered bank to support XRP deposits. 13 million banking customers can now buy, sell, and hold XRP in the same app as their salary. TradeFi just opened the door. This is the adoption people said would never happen. Obviously, it starts with SoFi and then it goes to 10 banks, 100 banks, 1,000 banks, and sooner or later, all banks will be able to buy, sell, and hold XRP. That could unlock, just trillions of dollars in market cap for XRP, and we're really excited to see something like that happen. Also, we are noticing a pattern here where Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are bleeding, and that money is going into XRP and Solana.
A $1.26 billion bleed from Bitcoin ETFs. That's more than $2.2 billion out the door in 2 weeks. Total net assets have also dipped below the $100 billion mark as Bitcoin sits at around $78,000 this morning. Over to Ethereum now. ETH ETFs saw just over $215 million exit last week. That's now 2 consecutive weeks of outflows for the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. This comes as Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin said the Ethereum Foundation will choose longevity over breadth and narrow its focus to censorship resistance, capture resistance, openness, privacy, and security. So where's the capital going? Well, if you've been watching the show, you might have been able to guess. It looks like it's rotating into Hype, Sol, and XRP ETFs, which saw $72 million, $22 million, and $15.6 million, respectively. Head of research at BRN, Timothy Misser, told CoinDesk that capital is rotating toward newer narratives and away from crowded large cap exposure.
All right. Also, I did want to show you this, a little bit more information. Just in U.S. crypto spot ETF flows, May 2026, Bitcoin lost 105 million, Ethereum lost 33 million, Solana 0, XRP in the green by 1.55 million in inflow. I'll take it. Italy's Banca Sella just became the first Italian bank approved under MiCA to offer crypto custody and transfers. Europe's banking system isn't watching anymore. It's integrating custody, stablecoins, cross-border settlement. The rails are being built quietly, XRP and RLUSD. And here's the last clip of the show here. XRP news as Ripple's Treasury partner with TreasuryXL. Ripple's Treasury just partnered with TreasuryXL, a major treasury platform connecting senior treasury and finance professionals globally. TreasuryXL works with banks, payment providers, and large enterprise teams. And so I've never heard of this company, so I wanted to understand this a little bit more. Of course, the partnership is about distribution and education for Ripple's Treasury platform, which natively supports XRP and RLUSD rather than a direct price catalyst, but it does widen the funnel of banks, corporates, and payment providers that could eventually hold these assets and use them. TreasuryXL is a Netherlands-based community and media platform aimed at senior corporate treasury and finance professionals, connecting them through content, events, and training. Ripple Treasury is Ripple's new treasury management platform that connects traditional treasury operations with digital asset rails, giving treasurers a single interface on both fiat and blockchain-based liquidity. On May 27, 2026, announcement says TreasuryXL and Ripple Treasury entered a strategic partnership to support treasurers preparing for the next phase of treasury management focused on education through thought leadership, content, and showcasing practical use cases. So there is the show, guys. Please let me know what you think about any of this. Please support the content, leave a comment below. If there's anybody in your life that would get value from my channel, please support the channel by sending it over. And also, there are several partners in our description. There's Uphold, there's Uptrade, there's Decent. If you want to start your crypto journey with a great exchange, that's Uphold. If you want to start your crypto journey with a good brokerage, that is Uptrade. And of course, if you want a wallet, Decent has a really great deal right now with, I believe, 50 back in XRP for every wallet you buy. So if you buy 2 wallets, you get 25% off and $100 back in XRP. All right, I'll see you later. Aloha.